Hello, everyone. How are you? It's Thursday evening, and it's time for part 2 of our last fall pumpkin tutorial. This is Amy with Seriously Sweet and Cookie Snack Attack. If you haven't had a chance to sign up for the live stream text alerts yet, you can do that by texting the word live stream to 540-870-0726, and we will send you out alerts when I'm going live, but only during the business hours of 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you live outside that time zone, please convert that time to your time and see if you want to be on the text alerts, because at the beginning of the year, we will be doing more morning things, okay? All right, let's say hello to a few people. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. Brian, will you turn that off for me? Off. Yes, please. Hello, hello. How are you? So I'm sorry I'm just a smidge tardy, but it is the holiday season. And what would the holiday season be without a little credit card fraud? So I had to clean something up this afternoon. You guys, please be aware that it is holiday season and be checking your credit cards frequently to make sure that you have not been hacked. Caught mine quickly, thank goodness, no damage done, but still things that have to be done in the meantime, right? Hello, Miss Deborah. Hello. Hi, April. April, did you send me a message earlier? I don't know if your name popped up, but I mailed you something recently, and I just want to make sure that you received it. Hi, Miss Bobby. How are you? Hi, Sally. How are you? Hello, hello. Hey, who's up? Is that Jeremy? Tell me who that is tonight. Hello, Debbie. How are you? Yes, I know. Crazy, crazy. Crazy. Hello, Debbie. Oh, and guys, as soon as I finish up this live stream tonight, I have 2 more things I have to take care of regarding that mess I just spoke to you about. How are you? Hey, Mary Ellen. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Paula. Chile, Canada. I know it is cold, isn't it? It's gotten cold quickly around here. Let's see. Hey, Camille, how are you? I'm doing very well this evening. Yes. Is that Jeremy? So just recently, I've had to take care of 2 different credit cards plus a debit card. And one of those cards I've had to do twice. And these things never leave my possession. So that tells me there's a lot of online theft going to be going on this whole holiday season. So just be super careful. I know it's such a pain. Thank God we caught it. Yes, that's exactly how I caught it, because I did follow through and set alerts. So you guys do that too. Hey, Becky, how are you? So yes, that's Jeremy. Cool. Good to see you. Oh, good. Okay. I thought it was you, but I don't think it said your name. And so I wasn't sure. Yes, it is very frustrating. And this person was able to take my husband off an account and add themselves. Like, really? Come on now. Yes, and Facebook is a little weird here too. Hey, Allison. How are you? Oh, I'm glad you were delivering cookies. That sounds like fun. Hello, Miss Sally. I'm sorry. Did the 3rd one hit you? Because I seem to recall you did pretty well with dose 1 and 2. Did the 3rd one knock you out and just push you over the edge? Hello, hello. Yeah, I think at the very beginning, if they've done an update to either Facebook or StreamYard, then it cancels any time that you've previously told it it's okay to use your name. So if they've done an update at any point, it breaks the link and you have to tell it again. Let's see. That I don't. Okay, so if you're not seeing everybody else's comments, it's because it's simultaneously broadcasting to 3 different places, because you can watch us from YouTube, from the Cookie Snack Attack group, or from Seriously Sweet. So I see all of the comments funneling to one place, but you see comments for just whichever avenue you're viewing from, which is why I'm trying to ton of bricks. I'm sorry, Sally, which is why I'm trying to post the comments so you guys can all see who's here. Hello, Nicole. Hi, Nimrose. How are you? 2-hour drive, Allison. Wow. And speechless. Speechless is always good when you're delivering cookies when they're just so overwhelmed. Hey, Shannon, how are you? That's so funny. You can see Jeremy. So you can see it on your side. Well, it's so good to see all of you tonight. I'm excited and sad all at the same time to get to do this particular cookie because I've wanted to do it for several weeks, but sad because it's officially our last fall or pumpkin cookie tutorial because we absolutely have to get into Christmas. We've got to dive in there and get going because I have so many cool Christmas things planned for you. Plus we have 2 classes at the beginning of the month. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a few pieces. I showed you this morning the overall cookie, and we talked about having sections done tonight if you wanted to work with me. If you didn't get a chance to do that, you can do that tomorrow, and then just follow the video in replay. It'll be on all of the... I think that's everything we need for tonight. I didn't even get a chance to fancy up my hair for y'all tonight. Seriously, I was like total panic when I saw that. So before, hey Charlotte, hi Janie. So before we get started, I did use a little bit of ivory to dull down my orange. So my orange is a little more muted than I showed you this morning. And then I'm using up some sage green. And then we're going to do our topiary base. So I'm just going to jump right in and get a flood on this because we want it to crust over enough that we can do some texturing because we're going to do a little painting. We're going to do some metallic highlights on this to make it look like a weathered pot. And I'm a little bit excited to show you what we're going to do. On our top pumpkin tonight. Let me just get this flooded in and I'm going to pop it in the dehydrator just to kind of get a crust on it because I want to do, I want to bust this and then we're going to do some painting with a little bit of metallic, okay? And then we're going to do some pressure piping on one of these other pumpkins. Nice and relaxing. All right, so let's get this back in the dehydrator real quick. I saved it because I did tell you I would flood at least one thing tonight. All right, so let's let this flood. Right, so this is the base for the topiary. I used a very light gray, not doing the black. And the reason I didn't do black is because what we're going to do on this is make it look really textured. And then we're going to do a metallic paint over the top, a gold metallic paint. So I told you I was going to be using Truly Matte Plastics. And my flood is a little runny. So I'm just cleaning it up before I pop it in the dehydrator. Hopefully that'll be enough to hold it back. I'm going to use Truly Matte Plastic, which is not, I'm using one that is not FDA approved for food consumption, which means it's just non-toxic. And you can use any one you want, though. I'm just doing that because I know that no one is eating this cookie, and that one shows up great on video. Janie, hi Myra, how are you doing? Janie, yes, this is the one from Dots and Bows. I think from last year. I've just never gotten to come back and do the tutorial on it, but it stacks, not like that. It stacks like this. I'm a little shaken because shaken, not stirred. Since I got that message. So it'll be these 3 pumpkins, and you could do just these 3, but I'm going to go ahead and do the base so that we can take the time to learn a little bit of texturing. The pot goes down here on the bottom, so it's a pumpkin topiary. So this morning I said have one flooded and just do it flat, no sections. And let's talk about why we're going to do that. I'm going to slide these 2 out of the way. I hope you guys like my color choices. I did not end up going with eggplant because I decided with the design that I was going for that what I really wanted to do was use these 3 colors and mix them on top of each other and not introduce a 4th color for the pumpkins. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this down. And I am going to have to bail on you guys right after this tonight so that I can get online and check a few other security things that they told me to check. So these were something I showed you earlier today, just for people. These were molds I made using small pieces of dollhouse accessories. So I will still show you what these look like, but I'm not going to be able to do it tonight because as soon as we get done, I'm going to jump off and just make sure that no one is doing anything else wackadoodle with my credit. Okay. Hope you understand. It just, it's Christmas and I certainly don't need anybody doing anything nutso with my accounts during this time of the year. Let's see. All right. So I'm pulling out my stencil frame from Creative Cookier. Okay. Whoops. Now I keep mine because it's magnetic. I keep mine attached to the back of my hot pink toolbox. That way it never disappears. Okay. So I'm just going to lay this on top. Here's another trick for those of you who are kind of new to the airbrushing scene. If you have a cookie that you have trouble with, or if you find that your cookies always hump in the middle, so you're always having trouble getting a flat screen, one of the things that you can do is bake on the perforated baking mats and then flip your cookie over before you do your initial flood, right? So if your cookies raise up in the middle or get wonky like this actually, my cookies don't normally look like this. This was leftover dough and I just didn't roll it flat enough. But you're seeing it because I flipped it over to talk to you a little bit about airbrushing. So normally it would be like this and you'd flood, right? But you might have like the bump might be a little too high. So it's going to make your screen stick up a little higher, your stencil. So I just flipped this whole cookie over. And I want you to see, do you see how nice and flat it is? Because I did that. So it's going to be a lot easier without using a silk screen. And we're going to do this cool burlap pattern on here. And so we're going to try something I haven't used before, which is never good to do live, but we're just going to go for it and try to have some fun. Let's see. Hold on. I'm going to put this up. Who's singing Leonard Skinner? Who's doing that? I must have missed a comment. Being the guy in this craft, everything is pink, baby blue, pastels. You just want gray. Gray should win sometimes, I think. But tonight we're going to use copper. It's from AmeriColor. It's Amerimist Food Coloring Copper. Airbrush color. That's what I was trying to think of. Sorry. So we don't need very much of it because we're just going to do this one pumpkin. But if there's any left over, I decided I would take the copper and come back and maybe do some highlights on this before we do our pressure piping. Let's see. I was singing. I'm so rattled. I could have been singing. I don't know. So this is my pink airbrush gun. I'm just going to put a few drops in. Well, maybe this is my new bottle. Yeah, Allison can't stand pink. Allison is so anti-pink, it upsets me. Just kidding, Allison. I try to get her stuff not pink whenever it's available. So this is my new bottle of the copper. I must have ordered that in because I knew I was close to running out, and I did run out last week. I guess I just haven't opened this one yet. You saw my very fancy way of opening this, right? So funny. All right, this is a great color. Let me tell you why this is a nice color. It's not per se metallic, but it has a glint to it a little bit. It's not as much sparkle as I typically like, but it has a nice sparkle to it. So I like this one rather than just doing a pumpkin airbrush on top of a pumpkin coloring, because I feel like it gives it a little more depth. But you guys do what you like best. Do some experimenting, especially before you do a big order. Do some experimenting. So you can see also, don't do what I'm doing. Don't be like me in real life. I'm doing it like this on camera so you can see what I'm doing. But that's like 3 drops of color in my airbrush gun, okay? I would not normally ever do that over a cookie. This is just for video purposes. This would be off on a tray off to the side in case I spilled. And I would also be doing what I'm about to do right now, which is test to make sure that my gun is clear. That would be off to the side. Okay, you see that pretty color? All right, so let's just hold this in place. Well, actually, I don't even need to hold it because it's weighted down pretty good. And I'm going to do low, and build up the layers. Okay. Because I want it to be fully covered, but I don't want to do so much at once that my Jeremy, is this you? This is so funny. You're not aware that I did tolerated a level of sparkle below disco. Well, normally I wouldn't, but this is fall for this pumpkin. So it doesn't need to be as girly as most things. So back to this, I don't want the airbrush color to go on so thick that it pulls up or makes beads. So I'm doing a lot of low pressure passes to get to a darker color, because that's what I want, is that little bit of darker color. Let's turn this off just for a second. Carefully lift up. It's not going to take this long to dry at all, but that's a cool burlap color, right? Rolling pin. See the rolling pin logo on the stencil? I think this is Shay. I think that's her cutout stencil. I'm so glad that they started marking these so it was easy to remember where something came from, but I'm pretty sure this is the burlap stencil by Shay. It didn't come in one of the monthly boxes. That's so funny. No, the holiday really does not affect my need for glitter. I just need glitter. Okay, so I want to change something up I was going to do because I think this will look prettier. If you give me a second, I'm going to grab some Elfie Diamond Dust. We were going to do copper, but we're going to do something else in a minute. We need to let this dry for just a minute, so just let me slide that over here. I'm going to put this out of the way because we'll need to clean that. And let's go ahead. I think I might have enough color in here that I can do some highlights. So let's talk about doing just some highlights for dimension in between these sections. So testing my airbrush again. Normally it would be off to the side. I'm doing it on camera for you. I'm going to flip my pumpkin around, and what I'm going to do is very, very lightly, I'm going to try to highlight just along the edges. And listen, guys, some airbrushes are better suited for this than others. So don't freak out if you feel like your test cookies, if your airbrush is either it's too much pressure or you have a hard time controlling it at first. Just practice. It'll get better the more you practice, and also practice on cookies where it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, now what we're going to do is just try to lightly go in the grooves. You can also do this by hand if you'd rather not do the airbrushing part. Right? You could dry dust this. It just requires waiting on the cookie to get completely dry so that you don't crack the icing, right? Whereas I'm doing this on top of semi-wet icing because I just iced this cookie about an hour ago, popped it through the dehydrator just for round one. All right, I think I want a little, you know, with these ring lights, sometimes there's a little glare, so I sometimes miss areas because I can't really see it. And I hope I have enough color to get this one last little area. Right here. You watch, it's all going to hit the cookie at one time. All right, well, that's going to be it. Let's turn this off. Since we're going to be on camera, I'm just going to squirt a little water into this, and I'll clean it up as soon as we finish our live. No longer than that. My gun should still be fine, but you see how I have that cool shading now? So that's good. And then we're going to do some pressure piping on top of this. Let me get this out of the way. Otherwise, I'm going to wind up putting my hand in it. Now, let's just touch this lightly. This is already almost dry, so I think we're going to go good to go. We're going to go back to this. Then I pulled out this cool leaf stencil, and it's a cookie countess stencil. So I'm just going to position a leaf right there in the center, and I'm going to be holding this because I'm scraping. I don't really like to work in the stencil frame when I'm scraping, unless it's a PYO and it's like one after the other. And I'm also going to keep it really controlled, I'm going to be using my thingamajiggy since it's such a small area to scrape. And we're going to be scraping in the green if it's thick enough. If not, we're going to scrape in the orange. So let me just see. I think this will probably work though for what I want it to do. That should be plenty. All right, so I'm just going to hold it. Let me actually turn this a little bit. I'm going to turn the pumpkin and turn the leaf. Okay, so that, and I don't want it to be perfectly lined up. So you see what we did? We We iced it flat, let it dry. Then we came back, we did a little smidge of airbrushing. And now we're going to go on top of that with a little bit of our green. And we don't need a lot of color. We just want a light look of a leaf on top, okay? Now I'm going to leave that in place. Hey, how are you doing? Hi, Anna. Hi, Sally. And then I am just going to spray it. And I'm going to try to keep it concentrated on the one leaf, because the rest of the cookie, since I didn't block off the stencil, there's other areas exposed. So I'm going to try to keep my glitter on that one leaf. And then I'm going to lift this stencil straight up, hopefully. Look how pretty. I'll hold it up for you. Isn't that pretty? Can you see that? So we have a little leaf on top of our burlap, but you'll see what's going to happen. The reason I like doing that is because we just basically put all three of our colors on one pumpkin. So now our whole pumpkin is going to look even cuter. More cute? English teacher among us? Someone answer. Cuter or more cute? What can I say? All right, let's move this over. I like to contain the glitter. That's why I made that paper towel base. Isn't that pretty, Sally? And these are things you can do ahead of time, right? So this is something you could do quick to really fancy up a set of cookies, right? And it's got a little shimmer, so I like that. Now we've got our orange colors together, right? Cute. And we did a little bit of highlighting. But now how about we do a little pressure piping? Are you guys up for that? We're going to use the same color we did the base icing with. But now it's going to look entirely different because we're putting it on top of an area that we did some airbrushing on. So it's going to really pop. If you really would rather, though, and I'm thinking I might do this, I don't think the green is thick enough. If you wanted to do something at home, I would thicken up your green and do what I'm about to do in the muted orange. Do green on here, and that way you can come back and use your orange on top of your base color down here, okay, when you do that pumpkin. But for us, we're going to do the middle one with the orange because I don't think I thickened up my green enough. And we're just going to do some basic piping. Let me grab a little towel and show you up close what we're going to do. So you would start by just building up a ball and then pull in to make that teardrop. And you would come over here, build up a ball and pull in. See? Something that if you get this skill down, you're going to make the cutest heart-shaped snowman noses. I mean, perfect for noses of any kind. It does great sweater piping. But do you see? This is also fantastic. And if you combine many shades of green and do this on a floral. So this is what we're going to do on the pumpkin, okay? Because I think my green, I'll try it, but I think my green is a little thin. So let's see what it does. Let's see if we can get this built up and pull in. If it's enough that it doesn't marry together, no, we might be able to do that. If I just space it out, I really like cable knit and the vinery done close together. Yeah, that's too runny. See how it's going off? So let's go ahead and go back to the orange for this one. All right. All right, now I think what I want to do, I think we're going to do this. I'm going to come on top of every other section with just a nice center line. Make sure I'm on frame, in frame. And I'm going along with the direction that I chose to do the sections of my pumpkin. That's the other thing that's really nice about this cutter. It's where it's laid out so you can easily follow it to do 5 sections, but it looks just as cute if you only do 3. So you can have at it any way that you want to go. So I think what we're going to do, I'm going to do these lines and then I'm going to do some pressure piping, okay? All right, everybody okay so far? Now, the reason I don't mind doing lines on top of the cookie for something like this is because it's not points, so it's not going to get knocked off and make that mess in your bag when you go to bag your cookies. And this is something that adds a lot of extra bang to your cookie without a lot of time. So I'm pressure, letting go, and then pulling off to create my little like pattern down the cookie. And remember I said I'm using the same icing that I used initially to flood the cookie. So I'm spacing out my pattern more so that it won't marry together. If you have a thicker icing and you're comfortable with that, you can put these really close together, but you need like a 25 or 30-second icing in order to pull that off. And I'm also ending with the direction pointing to the middle of the pumpkin, okay? You guys see that okay? Access to the keyboard's iffy. That's funny. All right. Do we have a baby cookie decorator in our midst? That's exciting. I like it when the kids get interested in this stuff. You know, imagine if we had all started this when we were super young, what level we'd be doing right now. You guys see that okay? And I'm just going right down the center, building up, stopping the pressure, then pulling it to drag the line to make my teardrop shape. I'm going to see if I can get 2 more in because I want to end up with it going towards the middle. All right, so let's lift that up and take a quick look. Cute. Isn't that fun? With this and our pretty fancy leaf. Now, let's see if we have enough crust on the pot because we don't want it to get too crusted that we can't do anything with it. Oh yeah, I think we're there. But we do need to do a little scraping because it ran off. Even though we popped it in the dehydrator, that initial flood was a little too thin. So let me just, on this cookie, doesn't matter because we're going to be busting up the surface anyway. So I'm not in a panic over it. But if I were doing a whole bunch of cookies for an order, I would have stopped. This wouldn't have even made it to the dehydrator. I would have scraped the cookie, all the icing off the cookie. I would have stopped and I would have thickened it up. But for purposes of the video, you guys understand what we're doing. All right, so let's just take these bigger chunks off. And we're going to work on this for a second, okay? And I like the gray versus the black. I didn't want black because I thought it would be too severe and maybe too Halloween looking. What are you guys doing? They need attention at this time of night. They only need it when I get on the live stream with you guys. Let's see. What did I do with my, here we go. I've got my mini fondant tools. I'm just going to use something with a rounded end. Can you guys see that? It's really small. Yeah, imagine how, you're right, Bobby, how many cookie cutters we'll have. Now, if this were fondant, we would be able to obtain like a hammered look, a hammered metal look. But because it is icing, I'm really just going for breaking the surface. And then we're going to pop it back in the dehydrator just for a couple minutes while we finish up our green pumpkin in the set so that we can come back and do a quick highlighting with some metallic. So I'm just going to quickly bust this up. I think it's enough, dry enough that I can get the look I want. You know, because the icing was thinner, so underneath is still pretty wet. But I think it will hold it back where it won't come off the cookie again. I thought that I had pulled my large ball fondant tool, but it has disappeared in the workspace again. You know how it is. What a great day I had today, other than the call from Discover that my account, or my discovery that someone ordered a card on my account. What a great day I had as far as getting things done today. And tomorrow is Wednesday. So tomorrow is even better for me because I will take care of a few things that need to be finalized this week. And we will start slow roasting the turkey. So my house will smell fabulous for 24 hours. And then after that, I'll be working on my CookieCon cookie because I'm teaching an elective class at CookieCon this year. So I will get to put the final. I've done my first version and let it sit so that I could look at it, because that's how I like to do cookies like that if they're really intricate, because this is a mixed medium cookie for CookieCon. I'm teaching a mixed medium elective on cookies. And I'm going to be teaching my class from the perspective of preparation, allowing you to do better if you are cooking for profit, or if you're not cooking for profit, if you just want, maybe you're a person who only makes items for donation, like nonprofit type things as a service to your community, you still need to be able to go faster and have a very, very detailed, fancy looking cookie sometimes, right? So the class that I'm putting together, I think everyone's going to like it. It's going to combine a couple of skill levels. Some things will be done for you ahead of time so that you don't have to worry about that. And then it's actually, I think, going to be a beautiful cookie. I think everyone's going to like it. Okay, now I think for me, I wanted more texture, not less. So for me, I feel like this is busted up very well. Can you see that? So that's exactly what I want it to look like. I prefer to do it like this instead of with the fondant, because over time the fondant is going to get so hard. Whereas even though royal icing gets hard or firm, whatever you want to call it, it's icing. So it's going to be fine when you bite into it. All right, so let's pop that back in for a minute or two. What went to 500 degrees? No, your oven did on your cookies? Oh no, that's not good. Isn't 500 degrees like your oven is actually on self-clean? You better check that. Whoever, is that Jeremy? Whoever's oven that is, there might be something wrong with your self-cleaning function. And if it is Jeremy, I feel terrible for you because you spent so much time cleaning that oven when you bought this house. All right, now guys, truthfully, I'm looking at this. If I was doing this as a box set, it looks beautiful just the way it is. Having a lot of separation here in this one is your thing. And then up in this one, we did airbrushing and a little extra piping. And then this one, we did just a little bit. Down here, we did airbrushing for the purposes of shadowing. And up here, we did a flat flood that we could do ahead of time. Maggie, hey, how are you? So Maggie, I don't know if you caught the beginning of this or not, but I had a problem where I had a fraud alert on a credit card. So I'm not going to be able to do that unboxing video tonight, but I am going to be doing it. So that was something else I wanted to do for you tonight. Okay, but back to this. So we quick flooded, outline and flood this one cookie, right? And then we did a quick airbrush, which you saw, I did it all live on camera. It dried in seconds. A quick stencil with the leaf while the stencil was still on, a little spritz with the diamond dust. And you can use any green you want, but I had Elfie on hand because I've been playing with all my Christmas colors. So Elfie is from the Sugar Art. It's called Diamond Dust. So I would leave it just like this because my bottom layer is so heavily textured, and I'm going to also be adding some metallic down at the bottom. So I'm going to leave mine like this because I do want to photograph this one because I forgot to get a photograph last year of my stacked pumpkin set. So I'm going to leave it and consider that my mini sections are my thing, my important part about my lower cookie. And I don't want to detract from this, nor do I want to detract from what we're about to do on the topiary pot. Okay, so let me just slide these over so that I don't wreck any of them. And this actually has enough crust on it that I think will be fine doing what we're going to do. I'm going to be using Everclear 151. I'm only using 151 because I can't get 190 in Virginia, without a super expensive permit to buy it. And I'm just taking a pipette full of Everclear, setting it to the side, because I think you guys know this by now, but just in case there's any new people on here, I always use the same container for my metallic, so that and it's a used container that had something else in it, but I always use the same one, because when the alcohol evaporates, I have all that product left, and this is expensive stuff. So now what I'm going to do is just shoot that little pipette in here. That's all it needs. I'm not going to need more than that. And then I'm going to grab my gold brush, which is right here. I always keep this handy just to rest it on. So if you get any Everclear in there, just dump it in as well. Okay. And I'm just going to give this a stir. Can you see the consistency that we want to go for here? Okay, so I changed my mind about the green section of my pumpkin. I forgot something that I wanted to try, but we're not going to do it with this consistency of the gold, okay? So we'll come back and do that in a minute. But right now with this brush, and actually, you know what? Ugh, I hate to get my fan brush in this, but what I really need is a fan brush. Hold on just a sec. Hold on just a second, because I want to find a brush that I've already used in gold, so that I don't wreck another brush, because I keep a separate set for my gold, my silver, and my rose gold, so that I don't have to. This is one of my gold. I can use this one, okay? But I always keep a separate set so that I don't have to worry about getting all of that product out of it after I use it, because you can never really get it all the way out of the brushes, no matter how good you are with it, you know? So I keep a separate set and just let the alcohol evaporate, and then keep them separate in a a toothbrush container. All right, I put it out just a smidge more Everclear in here, just because I wanted a little runnier for what we're about to do. And it was gunking up pretty good right away on my brush. So let's do this. I bet you've already guessed what I thought would be great on my green layer once I got this going. Have you guessed? Do you know what I'm going to do on my green layer? I put these both in frame because we're going to do them at the same time. And I don't want to clean that gold up off everything else, okay? Ooh, Sally, your hubby wants to know about a Cricut for Christmas, and I was hoping you would. Oh, yes. If you don't have a Cricut already, get the new Cricut Maker 3, because it has more pressure. It's absolutely fantastic. So soon I'll feel a little more confident with it, and I'll show you some of the stencils I've been working on. All right, now what I'm going to do, guys, is just kind of make this really rough, right? Because I don't want to fully coat this, but I need my brush to spread out a little bit. So do you see what I'm doing? Just kind of making it into a fake fan brush, because I just want to come across with some highlights. Now, why didn't I do silver on top of gray? Because that's not the look I was going for, and because that would have made it look too Halloween-y. I know that's not a real word, but that's what we're going with. So look what I'm doing, and I'm not adding any more product to the brush, but it's catching. It looks like those beautiful antique metal pots. Do you see? This works awesome for wedding cookies. If you have a wedding topiary cookie, if you use sage green as your undercolor and then use the gold on top, or copper. If you have copper, the copper from TMP is really pretty, but it looks like very aged copper. But for us, I wanted to use up the colors we had. So you see how pretty that looks already? Okay, now it will not detract from this at all. Okay, let's leave that one there to dry. I should put a glove on. I'm probably going to regret it later, but I don't have any close by. And now we're just going to flick a little bit of gold. That's all we need to do to this layer. And I'll lift it so you can see it. And we'll put the whole cookie together. But I love doing this splatter pattern, and I didn't think about it, but this is all we need to do to the last layer. And then you guys will have gotten like 4, look at that all over my finger now. You will have gotten 4 or 5 different techniques tonight. So that's cool, right? And if you weren't talking and, you know, reading comments and all that, this, you see, this cookie would have been super quick with minor amounts of prep work. Like you could have assembly style knocked this out, and it fits great in a 5 by 10 or a 5 by 12. One, I forget the box size, but it's either the 5-inch wide by 10 or 5 by 12. It fits perfect in there. All right, so let me set this off to the side. That's going to be drying out. I don't want that gold to fall all over the place. So let's get this out of the way. Let's clean up this little area. Okay, and we'll put it in place. I have to put it sideways because if I zoom out, you're going to see all the other mess of my work area. You probably don't care though, do you? So how about I zoom out? You don't care if you see the mess. You like to know that you're human probably, and that you have that same issue, right? All right, let's see. That's probably far enough. You don't need to see the rest of the mess in the work area tonight. All right, so let's turn this. And so you can see all the pieces together. Hi, sweetheart. I can play in just a few minutes, okay? You can help me make some phone calls. Okay, you just wait for me. Penny's like, that's long enough, but it hasn't been an hour. She usually has a good internal clock, and she tells me when an hour is up. But tonight, she's ready now. All right, so what do you think? Do you like my super professional stand right here? It's my laminator machine box that my computer's sitting on to lift the camera up tall enough. Is that funny? There we go. Let's move at least that part out and move this up a little bit. So what do you think? Do you like that? So we used colors we already had, and we stayed with 3 colors primarily. We used 4 because of the bottom, but if you wanted to just do the pumpkins, we just did the 3 colors in here, right? We used our green up on top here, tied it into this. We used shaded orange by doing that little bit of airbrushing with the copper. And then we did some other coloring. So you see, it looks like we had 3 or 4 colors of orange going, but really it's just the one and a little bit of airbrushing. So these are like speed tricks that you can learn if you cookie for profit, or if you are a person who cookies and you need to make a lot of cookies quickly for an event or something like that. Let's say you donate to the hospitals every week. Maybe you donate in your neighborhoods, but look how cool that is. What I do like is that we stopped our texture up here, right? This is more like royal icing transfer type look up here because it's one item added. And by the way, you could do royal icing transfers. I just wanted to show you how to do that stencil scraping and spraying in case you want to do that for holly or something at Christmas. Holly leaves and berries. It looks real cute. But you've tied your greens in. You kept the main part of your pressure piping and texture on your middle focal part of your cookie. Then we have a little bit of splatter to tie the sparkle up here and the sparkle down here. And then we got a lot of texture down here, which is why we did not need it here, because we wanted to have that hammered metal look for the pot. But how cute is that? Now, don't forget, if you want, I know Thanksgiving's Thursday, so you're probably like almost done with pumpkins too, but this is a very versatile cutter set. So you can make a snowman with this cutter set by just taking this tip off, right? Flip this over, and you've got a hat, a cute little hat that you can either layer like this, or you can take your pumpkin cutter and notch a piece out so that the hat fits tightly. Okay. When I do mine, I layer them up in the box. I don't want to mess up that cookie though, because it's not totally dry. I layer it up in the box like this. And remember, I told you if you are in the South, no, Sharon, this is a cutter set from Dots and Bows, and it's a stacked pumpkin topiary, and it is on their website. I did make sure. So you can do this like a beach themed snowman where you would make it look like sand, and then you could use your little fondant molds from the summertime that we got that have the little shells. You can do that for the buttons and do something creative like that for the face. You can make this, you can shape this just slightly differently and make this look like a beach pail for the Florida Santa or the beach Santa. But you can also pipe this differently and make it look like I'm saying Santa, but I meant snowman. You can also pipe a regular snowman with the same cutter set. So it's a very versatile cutter set. And they have a special every Friday. It's only Tuesday, but on Friday, don't forget that they have a special where you buy 3 and get a 4th free. So make sure you take a look at their sale this Friday, Dots and Bows Designs, Katrina and Carrie. And then I'm so excited because I get to decorate with Katrina. I get to be part of her 12 days of Christmas. So I'm excited. I'm going to do 2 cookies with her at the beginning of December. And also for our group, we have a thank you for dropping that, the cutter set in there. Thank you. Sally, probably look in the drop down thing and it'll, because I think this was added to the set. So you can buy just this or you can buy it with the pot. But I think that's like in the little drop down thing. Mold the hat. Oh yeah, you could totally turn the ends up and make a cowboy hat too if you wanted to do a Texas snowman, like a beach snowman with the cowboy hat. That'd be so cute. What was I telling you? Oh, special guest in our group, Brooke Taylor, who's in our group, who was on Halloween Wars, and we did that fun interview with her. Brooke is going to be coming on, and I'll have the event up in the next couple of days. But Brooke is going to come on and do colored transfer sheets with isomalt, which will come in super handy with Christmas cookies for making beautiful gingerbread windows and things like that. I think her cookie will be in the photo that I'm going to put up for the event release. But you certainly could use it for gingerbread houses, making, but it's just, the technique is so cool. Pouring the isomalt on top of a particular kind of sheet and it pulls the design up. So it's really going to be fun. So Brooke is going to come on and do that for us at the beginning of December. And then I'll be doing some cookies with Katrina, and hopefully some other opportunities will pop up, and we will see what else that I will pull out of the hat for you guys. And remember earlier, I told you about my baby bows. Do you remember these? I don't know where the big mold is, so I have to go back and keep digging. But remember, my favorite bow is the 2.5 inch of this. I love that. That's my favorite bow mold on the market. Well, now they have a mini of the same bow. I think we're in focus. So if you're going to be buying the Easter box next year, you're going to be getting one of these. I don't think you can find it stateside. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to. And so don't message me to ask me where I bought it, because I'm not going to release that, because I'm saving it for my Cookie Snack Attack people who get boxes. And then I might carry them loose on my website later, but I right now have only got my hands on enough to for the Easter boxes. Okay, so this was another fondant mold that had packages, and it actually had trying to remember if it had 4 or 5 packages in the mold. I think 4. So if you took this bottom part of the bow off, I think this was the 4th package. So then I just made another bow to make it look like a cylinder with the bows on the end, because I thought that was real cute. So these are some Christmas things that we're going to work on. I'm not sure where we're going to work them in yet, but truthfully, they'll work in with any of your Christmas displays. And if you thicken it up, you can make them where they stand up so they look 3D. So we'll talk about that. Pieces for display, not to eat, obviously, because nobody wants that big hunk of fondant. But this, if you put 2 back to get back, you get a nice square and it meets up perfectly. So if you do a lot of 3D work at Christmas time on Christmas displays, gingerbread houses, yeah, the packages mold is fabulous. So I think that's something we're going to do soon, all of us together too. So I hope you like the pumpkin mold. Let me see if there was anything else sitting here that I wanted to show. Oh, look what finally came. Finally. So I'm going to be getting these in for us for our fall boxes next year. But this is so cute because it's got a scarecrow man. It's a perfectly sized cornstalk for your fall cookies. It's got several different sizes of pumpkins, and it's got little Indian corn bundles tied here, and then little carrot bundles here. How cute is that? So, and I love his face. So it's late. It's really, really late. It's one of those packages I thought I would never see because it was ordered 4 months ago. The packages mold. Got mine on Amazon. Got it on Amazon. I did not get it from Michael's. I got it on Amazon. I bought it a couple of months ago. I can't remember what color it is, though, to tell you, because color sometimes will tell you who made the mold, but I don't see it handy, and I don't remember what color it was. All right. So I'll try to find it and put it in the comments on the Cookie Snack Attack link on this video. Okay. Colors. Yes. So for this green, this was Avocado by Americolor. It comes slowly up. You see that? This is Avocado. And then this was Pumpkin by Americolor, but I toned it down to make it a little more muted by adding just a very smidge. I mean, the tiniest little smidge of ivory from the Hobby Lobby. I toned down my orange with that. Then this green is this green. This was just gray. I just used my Master Elite Black until I got to this very faint shade of gray. Like the tiniest bit of that will take you to a gray like this immediately. And the Diamond Dust, you can use any shade of green if you want to do the Diamond Dust, but I used Elfie. This is Elfie. It's one of the Christmas colors from the Christmas Diamond Dust from Sugar Art. And my gold, I explained to everyone I used Truly Mad Plastic Super Gold. But if you're selling these because you cookie for profit, then my recommendation is to use the FDA approved. My next favorite, even though I know TMP now has gold, my next favorite gold is the FDA approved gold from the Sugar Art. Sorry, I was looking for it so I could show it to you and having a mental block at the same time. So the new gold, I think it's, I don't know. I'll find the name of it, but it is, you either got it in, I don't remember which Christmas kit, but one of the Christmas kits has it in there. I should keep these kits out like on the right and left of my computer screen so I can remember what's in each one of them because there's so much going on this month. Now, I do want to tell you this. If you haven't ordered these things in yet, I don't want to mess up my pumpkin, so I have to do this one at a time. But 2 months ago, I did the Christmas designs for Tutorial Tuesday on the Dots and Bows site. And there are 4 cutters, okay? The cutters say DBSS because that means it's a collaboration piece, right? They did the computer work and they're selling it. See it? DBSS Holiday Gift Tag. So that means it's my design, a cutter that I designed, but they're producing it for us. So whenever you see a cutter that says DBSS, that means it's something, most likely it's something that I taught either in a paid class or a limited edition class or on the Tutorial Tuesday. This is the only one we've done so far. Remember, we did this. I thought I kept it right here so I could show it to you. Let me just see if I can grab it without knocking anything over. So we did this when you guys gave me that little break to do one Christmas cookie so I would stop whining. This is the cookie that we did with this cutter. Okay, so this is the only one of the 4 we've done so far. I'm telling you this because she has that sale on Friday where if you buy 3, you get 1 free. So if you didn't buy the cutters, but you're liking what you're seeing and you want to go ahead and grab them, wait till Friday. Okay, so these are the other cutters in that set. Okay, so I'm going to flip them over so you can see. So this is DBSS Holiday Tree. So this is a cute little basically Christmas tree. But honestly, once the cutter arrived and I wasn't focused on the fact that I had sketched my Christmas tree. I saw lots of other things in this. I'm sure you will too. So there's lots of opportunity with this cutter. Then we have the super size ornament or finial cutters. Okay. And again, once this came, I saw that we could alter it and do lots of different ornament shapes. We could do 6 different ornaments out of this, probably more by just changing the pattern, but there's a lot you can do with this cutter by itself. And then we have this beautiful cutter. This cutter, I'm sure right off. Oh, let me tell you what this one says. This one says DBSS Holiday Ornament. Okay, this is the holiday collection. This one says Dbss Holiday Bow. So I'm sure you looked at this and went, oh yeah, that's a bow. You can see the ribbon tails here, bow here. But the bow that we're going to make has a new technique that I have not showed you before, that I've not seen anyone else do anywhere. So when we get to this one, we're going to do this one as a super fancy cookie, and then we'll do it super simple because it's a gorgeous shape and it's a good size, like a really solid standard size that you can crank out fast with just basic piping. But we're going to be doing this one completely different, okay? In that you haven't done it before with me, and I haven't seen anybody do the thing I'm going to show you how to do. Hope that helps. So there was 4 cutters in the holiday series. There was the holiday bow, and these are all grouped together on the site under the special classes. I think that's what it's under. If anyone's on here that can find the link to these, drop the link in for the set of 4 of the cutters, the physical cutters, and the link to the set of 4 for the STL files if you print your own. But remember, on Friday, you're going to want to break it apart and order them separately because it's buy 3, get 1 free. So it's like getting a 25% discount. This one is Holiday Ornament. This one says Holiday Tree. And this one is the Holiday Gift Tag. Okay. And remember with this one, I don't have it handy because I just put it up a little bit ago. But there was also on my Ko-fi, the KO-FI site, you could buy the appropriately sized royal icing transfer gift tag that went with this. Okay, so these are the 4 that are coming up. The other thing you might see on the site and be confused about what it is or where it came from, this big cutter is up there. This really big cutter says DBSS, and then it says what does that say? DB, Dots and Bows, SS, Seriously Sweet. Then I don't remember what we labeled the next 2 for, but Katrina and Carrie will know. And then Holiday 2021. This was my cookie-a-thon cookie cutter. Okay, but we're going to be using this to do several things throughout the year that are not winter themed. This was the big cookie I did with the isomalt globe in the center. So if you see that, that's on there. The other thing that's on there is a unicorn cutter, and it should have a set. It should have like a little circle that goes with it, plus a unicorn body, and it's large. It's very large. We're going to be, if you want to just get ahead of the curve, I'm going to do that as just a paid class. There's not going to be a kit with it, but I'm going to offer a class. It's creating a 3D children's toy, or recreating a cookie in cookie form, a children's toy. And I'm going to teach that class in January, just teach the class. So if you want to grab that, it's the unicorn, and it should have 2 pieces. It should be the main part of the toy and then a little circle to go with it. Right now, that's all we've got because I have not released the designs because I haven't finished them yet for what we're going to do on tutorial come January. But what I'm working on, and I hope this isn't upsetting to too many people, I'm going to try to show you if you're in a warmer climate. I'm going to try to show you different ways to use these cutters for other things. But we are doing a winter theme for January. All right. So for some of you, you'll be able to use the cookies and sell them. And I think you'll be great with that. Others of you, you're going to have to focus in more on the techniques that we're learning on Tutorial Tuesday. Okay. So I hope that takes care of everything. I'm not seeing any questions over there. I really thought I had that gold sitting right here, Nicole. So I was going to look for that. but it's not in my little pile of have used them recently sugar art. And when I say little pile, I mean big, because it just keeps growing because I keep jumping from one project to the other. Okay, so tonight though, guys, I have to handle the fraud thing immediately. Then you're going to start getting emails. I'm going to do all the emails tonight because all of the regular Christmas kits shipped today, all of them, even the 2 people that added at the last minute, the 2 extras that I had. So check tomorrow, either your spam folder or your regular email, wherever my email from me normally lands. But I will be sending everybody their tracking number so you can keep an eye on that. And the only reason I want you to keep an eye on it is because there's a holiday in this week. So normally when they're picked up on Tuesday, some of you have them on Thursday, but there's a holiday mail is starting to happen. So I need you to keep an eye on it and don't let it go so long if it doesn't arrive like Friday, Saturday, right? If it should normally be there Thursday, then for sure you should have it Friday, Saturday. We don't want to let anything go too long because limited edition class is December 4th, but the class with your box is December 11th. So the next thing is everybody's going to get their tracking numbers. That'll be cleared out. And then tomorrow I'm going to finish setting up the second Facebook group for the regular class people that have purchased the regular class, which is up for sale on the website. So you can grab that anytime. You're not in a rush though, because you can buy it up until the day before. So if you need to do other stuff for the holidays or Thanksgiving, don't be in a rush to get that. But I'll finish that. And then I'm going to double check whatever the problem was with the file errors on the supply list. And I'm going to re-upload all of that for you. And I'm going to upload a JPEG as well for those of you that were having trouble downloading, because I don't know if the problem is an update on the Facebook side or a problem on people's personal computers. I don't know. So it's going to go up as a PDF that you can file download with clickable links. It's going to go up within a JPEG. So it's just a picture that you could save on your computer or on your phone and then print out. And then the extra supplies that you need beyond the kit are going to go up in just a line listing. Okay. I think that will cover all of our bases. Anything else? I really like how this cookie turned out. I hope Katrina and Carrie see it. I would love to know if they liked it. So I hope they, oh, by the way, Debbie is saying that Timbo posted his Christmas class. He sure did. And I already signed up. I can't wait. And I'm so glad he's going to be at CookieCon. I just really hope I can get in the right line, you know, like you buy your tickets and then I guess there's a whole separate day when it releases where you jump on and there's another waiting room and then you get a number and then you buy your classes. So I'm really hoping I get one of his in-person classes. So it's going to be tight though, especially if that's the only CookieCon this year. So you guys are going to have to stay tuned and I will be videoing more because I have planned my schedule better. So I'll be videoing more and I have a different handheld thing. So it'll be easier for me to do that. And it made me think of something else. Just give me a second. It came and it went just that fast. Okay, wait. Sugar cookie, our cookie snack attack was seriously sweet sugar cookie retreat called Unplugged that's happening in May. You want to be watching for me on Black Friday and on the Saturday, right? So the Friday after Thanksgiving and the Saturday after Thanksgiving, you're going to want to stay tuned in one of those 2 days. As soon as our code is live, people that know for sure that they are attending that, you're going to be able to, Friday, I think we're going to talk about how I think I'm going to get on and do a shared screen and show you where to go and where to read about the room so you guys can all get prepped and look at it and look at pricing. But our code will be live on Saturday and I will release that Saturday morning so that everybody can jump on and get whatever rooms they want to get because they gave us pricing on 3 levels of room. By the way, whoever asked me about the RV park, are you on here? Are you on here tonight? You asked me about campground. I want to just tell you that yes, there is a campground, but there are no hookups for water or electric. So you have to be prepared with generator and your own water. Okay. There's no hookups at the campground, but there is a campground if you want to come in an RV. It's just like a mile or 2 up the road. So it's not going to be a huge inconvenience for you. You're not going to be in the same, sleeping in the same area at the little Skyland complex that the conference is going to be held at, and where our conference center is that we'll be cookieing in. But you'll just literally be like a mile or two up the road on the mountain. But I did verify with them. Yes, it will be open. Yes, there are spots available in the spring, but there are no hookups for water or there's no hookups for water or electric. They do have a sewage dump area. They told me to tell you that. That would be important that you would ask that next. So there is an area for that, but there is no water or electric. So you have to be prepared with your own water and generator. Okay. And there is a campground if you really, really want to rough it, like a campground tent camping. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't do that because it's going to be springtime and there's a lot of black bear up on that mountain. So, I mean, unless you just really want to get close and personal with the critters, I probably wouldn't do that for this trip. But you do what makes you happy. If you're cool with that, you go for it. I just know that in the springtime is when I see all the mama bears with the baby cubs and the mama deers with the baby deer, and everybody's on high alert all the time. So I don't think I'd want to tent camp up there in the spring, but lots of people do it. It's beautiful. So if that's your speed, then you do that. Okay. All right. I'll catch up with you soon. I'm going to go take care of this other issue. I hope you guys liked the tutorial tonight and enjoy the cookie. I'll get a photo tomorrow and get it posted in case you want to come back and do this same one. Okay. And I will catch up with you later. Appreciate y'all letting me be a few minutes late tonight since I got stuck on the phone with them. I don't like that. It drives me crazy when I'm late. If you're on time, you're late, in my opinion. So to be on time, you have to be early. So anyway, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon. Have a